Am I the idiot for telling my aunt she wasn't allowed to see my newborn? For my, female 20, entire pregnancy, my Aunt A, female 43, would make snide comments toward me and my fiancé, male 22, about how we aren't fit to be parents with our outrageous lifestyle. We live in a camper on my mom and stepdad's property that is our temporary home, and it's fully furnished with a working kitchen and bathroom. We're also a little bit on the hippie side of life. She would say she was surprised that my fiancé managed to get me pregnant since he isn't very much of a man. We share clothes. She would also make fun of my weight gains, saying she could barely see my belly with all the fat. I'm a pretty small woman, I think, and that eating for two isn't meant to be taken seriously. I tried to be kind to her in the beginning months of pregnancy because she had suffered through 2 miscarriages before I got pregnant. My fiancé has never been open about her being hurtful toward me and wouldn't let me write it off as her being upset over losing her babies, and I needed to set clear boundaries, so I did, and told her she couldn't see the baby without my permission. My aunt also has a history of breaking boundaries and calling CPS on family members because they don't have the same ideals that she does. Well, I just had a baby a month ago and finally felt well enough to visit my family. I have a rough relationship with my bio-dad's side of the family, and I'm truly only close with my grandparents and siblings. So this past Sunday I decided I was going to take my baby to my grandparents' house so they could meet their great-grandbaby. I had informed my grandma that I didn't want to see Aunt A, and she obliged, only telling a few closer relatives that I was bringing the baby over, Aunt C and her children, in an attempt to keep it a secret from Aunt A. We had a great time and took many pictures with my family and baby. Here's where things get bad. My grandma had posted a picture on Facebook of her holding the baby. She had full permission, and my Aunt A had seen it despite not using Facebook for years, and within an hour had showed up at my grandma's house wanting to see the baby. I told her that she could leave, and just because she was family she does not have the right to see my baby since she had been so disrespectful toward me and my fiancé. My cousin and my fiancé immediately put themselves between her and I to try and talk her down from her rage, and I could remove myself and the baby from the room. My fiancé managed to get my Aunt A and her children out of the house so we could leave. I got a text from one of my older cousins who was on my side during the fight saying that I should have just let Aunt A see the baby so the afternoon didn't get ruined. So am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Auntie, you set up the boundaries for Aunt A and stick to it. You get to choose who can see your child. Even with your aunt being disrespectful to you and your fiancé, who knows what sort of comments she will say about your child too? Who knows what else she'll try to do? Call Child Protective Services for whatever reason? No idiots here, that doesn't fly. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Specifically for those comments on you being unfit parents. That's just her working herself up into calling cops to try some half-cocked idea out of taking your kid. I'm not saying it's a whole plan, but when someone's head is messed up and they are angry, things unexpectedly happen all at once. Now for the update. It's been around 6 months since the incident, and I wish I had a happier update. My aunt has still not taken the hint that I don't want her to be around my child or my fiancé at all. I respect my grandparents' choice to allow her over to their house for holidays and still attend the get-together despite knowing she'll be there. I still think I'm being a little ridiculous until she goes and tries to grab the baby out of the high chair or car seat without permission, and it drives me insane. This whole situation has driven a wedge in my family. Half of them believe I'm being selfish for not just allowing her to even hold the baby, and the other half have constantly had problems with her and completely agree with me. She has suffered another miscarriage in the last 6 months, and I'm very sorry this is happening to her, but I can't put my baby in contact with her anymore, so I've decided to keep my distance at holidays and get-togethers. We attended Christmas at my grandma's until she showed up with her kids and told to get a hold of baby any way possible. I invited her over today at my grandma's to speak with her without a baby, and it went horribly. When she comes and she sees my fiancé and I, and then immediately notices that we don't have the baby, and she flips her lid yelling at us like we're children because we tricked her into coming there only to not bring the baby. My fiancé started the conversation only to be yelled at and called many names by my aunt. She ran away crying into the kitchen like we had done something to her. I followed her in and lectured her through her crying, telling her that her behavior at the moment was the exact reason she was not allowed to be around our baby, and if she was going to continue to belittle us on our lifestyle and parenting, she would never see the baby again. It felt silly to be lecturing someone 20 years my senior while she cried like a child. We left without saying anything else, and I held my tears in until we reached the car and sobbed the rest of the way home in the comfort of my fiancé. That was hours ago at this point, and I still feel a little silly for how I'm acting, even though my aunt had shown how unstable she was to me today. But I don't want this to drive an even bigger wedge in my family. Comment 1. Don't feel silly for protecting your child. That's what parents should do. Your aunt is driving the wedge between your family. It's unfortunate she can have more children right now, but it's not an excuse for her behavior. She's wrong and needs to be held accountable. If she learns to manage her behavior, reconsider in the future. But she is not allowed to disrespect you and then think she's entitled to your child. It's not how it works. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Seriously, what is wrong with you? Your aunt may have made some rude comments, but that doesn't give you the right to deny her access to your child. It's her family too, and she deserves to have a relationship with your baby. You're being completely unreasonable and selfish. And to top it all off, you have the audacity to lecture her like you're some superior being. Who do you think you are? Your behavior is immature and petty. It's clear that you're using your child as a weapon to punish your aunt for things that happened in the past. It's time to grow up and stop causing unnecessary drama in your family. Your child deserves to have loving relationships with all their family members, and it's your responsibility to facilitate that. Stop being so bitter and vindictive, and start being a better parent. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your aunt has an unhealthy obsession with your baby. If a stranger acted the same way, I think everyone in your family would want that stranger gone. I don't see how being blood-related changes her actions at all. She needs to get her poop together, and her enablers need to shut the hell up. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for buying my daughter a locked storage bin? I, male 53, have a daughter, female 17, who I recently bought this big storage container for. The reason being our daughter has a job and likes buying her own food and snacks for herself. The problem is that her mom invites her aunt, uncle and cousins over all the time, and even since she started buying her snacks and leaving them in the pantry, they'd eat them without consulting her. She's asked them many times to not eat them, but they don't listen. For reference, she likes to order snacks from other countries as a way to broaden her horizons. She's also linguistically gifted and likes to try and read labels to help expand her vocabulary. These snacks can take weeks to get after she orders them again, and by then her current snacks are gone. My wife didn't do anything, saying that since our daughter kept them in the pantry there for everyone. She moved them to her room and her cousins would go in when she wasn't and take them. I went to a hardware store and bought a big container with a lock, and for extra measure I bought extra locks and drilled holes so that they could be used. Our daughter cried and thanked me because it was pretty expensive and not something she could afford. Of course, the cousins went to get more snacks and threw a fit when they saw it and realized the snacks were in there. They told their parents, and they told my wife, and she's not happy with me, saying that our daughter should share her snacks with family, and she's being selfish and will get fat. Our daughter is incredibly fit, does multiple sports and exercises all the time. She's far from unhealthy. I told my wife she could order her own, and our daughter was happy to tell her where to order them, but she didn't like that either and told her that the chest needs to go and that I should have consulted her on buying the bin in the first place. Am I the idiot? Edit. The relatives are our daughter's cousins and aunt and uncle. They are my sister-in-law, brother-in-law and nephews, and sister-in-law is my wife's sister. To clear up any confusion, the pantry is also fully stocked with food. No one is going hungry and eating our daughter's snacks because they have to. Now for a few comments before the update. Your wife is well out of line. How dare she take your daughter's things? Your daughter works for these treats. Your wife has no right to steal them, and has no right to advocate her other family members steal them. Also, the fat remark. Just ugh. You did the right thing. You are not the idiot. Comment 2. Not the idiot. But I would take it a step further and get a deadbolt lock for her room to lock it when she isn't there. That way the cousins can't get into her room and will have something else to complain about. Then the original poster responded with, I'll consider that. Thank you for the suggestion. They've always had a nasty habit of going in her room and snooping. Now for the update. My daughter and my brother-in-law both found my Reddit post separately. First, my daughter, who was sent it via a friend who knew the situation. She confronted me about it, and we had a very long talk where she admitted that when I'm away her mom doesn't treat her well, and often puts her cousins/my nephews above her, telling her she should be understanding we're far better off than them. I was aware that they would occasionally sneak into her room to take things or play, but apparently they go so far as to wait for her to leave for a few minutes, run in and grab what they want. Her mom also makes a lot of comments about her weight. For reference, our daughter takes after me, being taller with some more masculine features such as broader shoulders, while my wife is small and petite. There's many other things I won't say here that my wife has said to our daughter. I didn't bring it up at first and consulted my wife on buying a lock for our daughter's door, which she opposed, even if our daughter said she'd buy it with her own money. She started yelling about how under her roof our daughter has to abide by her rules. The house is technically mine, not hers. She stormed off and immediately began telling all our friends and her sister and brother-in-law that I was being controlling and awful to her. The brother-in-law found the first post and sent it to her, leading to another argument where she accused me of airing our dirty laundry to the world instead of trying to communicate, despite me trying to and getting shut down. Once she stormed off, I packed a bag, as did my daughter, and we went to a hotel. Yes, we brought the snack bin, where we have been the past few days while I find a good divorce lawyer. My wife is still spreading lies about me, claiming I tried to kick her out, and all sorts of other lies. I'm finished with her, I don't care what she says, I'll be divorcing her and paying as much alimony as she wants so that I can keep my daughter safe from her. I don't care about the house, or anything else, she can keep it all and let her sister, brother-in-law and nephews mooch off her until she's penniless. I'm sorry this is not a happy update, and I doubt I will make one after this. Thank you for opening my eyes. Reddit edit. After so many people have told me not to give up the house, I will be doing my best to fight for it and low alimony for my wife. Me and my daughter shouldn't have had to leave the house we've both grown up in because of my wife. She can live with her sister if she wants to help them so much. Comment 1. You are an amazing parent, your wife is toxic. But don't give up without a fight, you are providing for your daughter, the house is yours as your daughter will live with you. Your wife doesn't deserve to have your daughter call her mom. Comment 2. Bruh, you need to fight for your house and as little alimony as possible. Remember, every penny you keep from her is a penny more you can spend on your daughter. Education fund, house deposit, wedding fund, etc. Besides, that's your daughter's home you're talking about. Don't give it away to her toxic mother. Comment 3. You're the idiot. Are you serious? Buying a locked storage bin for your daughter's snacks and encouraging her to isolate herself from her family? That's beyond control. It's clear that you have no regard for the concept of sharing and family values. Your daughter's snacks were in the pantry, which is a shared space for everyone in the household. Instead of promoting open communication and compromise, you decided to lock away the food and create unnecessary drama. And the fact that you're supporting your daughter and leaving the house and planning a divorce based on this issue is completely disproportionate. Instead of being a responsible adult and finding a solution that benefits everyone, you're enabling your daughter's entitlement and encouraging her to cut ties with her own mother. It's selfish and manipulative. You should prioritize building a healthy and harmonious family environment rather than fostering animosity and division. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.